So this is Mr. Heitman. I'm here with Vidhi and Vaibhvi, two amazing seniors on the team. And today we're going to get that senior experience and how that's changed them in robotics. Step on in. You can probably, so Vidhi and Vaibhvi, tell me, what's it like to join a robotics team after being in your sophomore year when you really wanted to step foot into it, but you felt like the schedule was too demanding?
I can start off first. So I really had to make sure that my schedule was good. I talked with my parents, I talked with my sister, I tried to get my extracurriculars straight, and through that I was able to organize time for robotics. I was able to make my life easier and have fun, because at the end of the day, having fun at robotics is the key goal.
Yeah, so I think the key part of being a student in robotics is to always be really communicative with your parents. I think that's step one to even get into the bridge of robotics, especially in this demanding team, competing team. So talking with their parents, telling them the schedule, the build schedule, and how times would work, I think that's the first step, and that's how we got into robotics.
To add on, I also think being communicative with your sub-team and as well as your mentors, and being able to say, oh, I can't make it this day because of this reason, but I will be able to make it another day and I will be able to catch up. Because at the end of the day, even if you miss a day, you can always catch up another day, so that's what matters.
So it's amazing how both of you have taken to robotics, but what you really seem to take the most to is our manufacturing department in our CNC room. But you know, there's always been this idea that, you know, the women in the workplace versus men in the workplace. How do you feel about, you know, being in what some would say is a male-driven area?
So, my take on this question is, like, I was taught by two women, Daphne and Zara, and I don't think when I was in this machine shop, I feel like I was equally represented. I thought that there was no like, oh, is this a more male-dominated career or path, or is this a more female-dominated career or path? And I think that's like one difference in my like journey in this robotics team is that I was like represented and I felt like seen, and yeah.
Yeah, Daphne and Zara were taught by another female alum, and this is Joyce that I'm talking about. She also taught us CAD in our freshman year, and so it was cool to see her also teach other female alums the ins and outs of manufacturing. And like Vidhi said, I never viewed this as a male-dominated team until I actually like saw it in industry, saw it at comp, talked to people about, oh, how do they manufacture this part of their machine, and like, sorry, their robot, how do they manufacture that part of the robot, and like, the mentors would always point towards guys, and I felt like maybe that's just the pattern outside of our team. Maybe our team is like unique like that, you know? And I think for personally, I never saw that male to female ratio. It was just, it's a female dominated team, and the sub team was thriving, yeah.
Definitely.
That's just amazing to take on that, and I appreciate your honesty and candor on that. You know, a lot of people look up to both of you on the team. Sometimes it's like seeing double, you're not sure who you're talking to. Even after so many years, sometimes I struggle with that too. But what do you think you did that made yourselves so reliable and independent for others?
I'll start with this question. I think it's kind of started our late sophomore year. I think that was when we first got Co-Head of CNC positions, and that's when we started talking more throughout the team. So we were always, I feel like we're pretty sociable like people, so we never struggled with talking to people, asking questions, and I think it's always nice to start off a conversation with something that you might relate to, have questions about, something that you can actually continue about. And so I think trust was built through that, and dependency kind of came later. Whenever people had questions, they were able to come to us, and it was comfortable. The environment was not strict or very like cold or anything. It was just warm and cozy for us to like talk, and it wasn't awkward, you know? A question could be a question, and it was never awkward. And I think we tried to make an environment where people just feel like they're seen and they can come up to us.
Definitely. I think that making it more comfortable, especially like in a small room like this, like the first step is not, oh, right away, cut. Its first step is, oh, what's your name? What do you like to do? And like making sure that we have those like values and like things like characteristics known to each other before we go and do work with that. Like I think building that relationship outside of robotics, like not always, but like outside of robotics and then pulling it into robotics makes it more of a fun experience. And I think that's like one way that people can go up to us and see that, oh, like this is why whenever like rookies look at seniors and they see veterans and they're like, oh, like all 4 years they were all together for 4 years or at 3 years or 2 years, right? And they were able to build that experience and they were able to build a robot together. It just like makes the experience better. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you again for sharing that. As we start to close out this segment of R.I.S E, I have like two favorite questions that I always like to ask. The first one is, what's your favorite thing you've learned on the team?
This is a hard question. I think it would be there's never a dumb question. Like I feel like in school I always struggled with asking for help, and this being a part of like robotics, being a part of the Steelhawks, I learned every question's a question, never a dumb question. So I just became comfortable with asking, being curious. I think this environment made me feel comfortable to even ask, to take that first step. And if people saw that I was confused and they saw that I was uncomfortable to be asking those questions, they would just answer it for me. And I think that comes with just being in an environment of students that are willing to take the first step with you.
I think something that I have learned in this team that I think will probably be used forever is probably like being able to public speak. Like I was not the best speaker like freshman, sophomore year, but in junior year and now senior year, I'm able to take on more of a role, and I think like having that role has taught me to be able to trust my peers, but also trust myself that I can do it and I can like public speak and be like confident when I like move forward with my ideas. I think a lot of it is like, oh, someone has an idea and another person has an idea, but you have to be able to share that idea. You have to be able to be confident in the idea and be able to speak it out, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to share it, you know? We want to be able to share our information and spread and make sure that everyone gets to hear your thought and your side of the story.
I feel like for CNC, as much as we say manufacturing, cutting, this room is about building, mending, building one big enrapturing like thing that we can all call home. So I feel like as much as this room is about cutting and breaking things apart and seeing how it can be built back upstairs, I think it's also about relationships and how we all want to be one big family.
It was very, very poetic.
That's good,
I like
yeah.
it. Very nice. So, final question. You know, robotics is, you know, STEM related and big STEM. How do you see the impact of robotics and your future careers and how that relationship to STEM has interweaved itself?
So actually, my idea of like my future career came right by this machine. You can put it in. We were doing the unboxing / revealing in my sophomore year, and one of the mentors was about to hit their arm and lose a limb. That's what we call it. They were about to lose a limb. And we both jinxed ourselves and said, oh, be careful. Don't worry, you're about to lose a finger. And it was such a funny moment, and I remember the mentor in question, like, they said, oh my God, prosthetics are there though. Like, don't worry. Like, prosthetics are there. That's pretty hot right now. And I was like, oh my God, you're really right. And I went home that day and I looked into prosthetics. I looked into all the things that go into making it, and I saw, oh my God, there's a lot of manufacturing to it, material side of it. And I was like, maybe this is something I can get into. It weaves in biology, which is like, I'm currently taking AP Bio and I'm really enjoying it. And it weaves in mechanics, and it weaves in like this whole room that I spend my whole robotics days in.
On my take, it's like, I want to be an engineer in the future, and I just thought, in the beginning, I thought, oh, robotics would be a good way for me to gain those skills. But then now that I've been on this specific sub-team, I think it's really helped me believe that, oh, like, all of these little skills that I learned throughout my high school career or my time in robotics will definitely help me in whatever engineering field I go into. Because, like, you could be an electrical sub-team, and then you could become a mechanical engineer in the future. But those skills still travel over. So I feel like no matter what I do in the future, I think anything I learned in this robotics team will definitely travel over.
Very nice. Thank you too for taking the time out for this session of R.I.S.E. Thank you both for being a Steel Hawk and laying the foundation for some of the future Hawks. And I hope you fly off into the future and hit all your hopes and dreams. Thank you. Thank you. This is Mr. Heitman with Vidhi and Vaibhvi. Thank you very much for watching another episode of R.I.S.E.